Look at those bloodletters go, ready to chop away. Versus this mad lad, the crazy one, the white dwarf, Gromrindal. Alright, Skarbrand Chan versus Sterngard. And he's brought, surprise, Skarbrand. And Sterngard has, surprise, brought Gromrindal. Now, this was an interesting game. Both have the same amount of units, but you know how the Dowie want to roll. Just in one big block. And I think this is a great game if you're both the Dowie and Khorne player trying. Well, Khorne I think it's very, very easy. It's super favorable for Khorne, and the reason being Furies. Furies just shut down most typical Dowie builds, but this one from Sterngard was very interesting. You got a bunch of Iron Drakes, Fire Drakes, whatever you want to call them, overwatching a bunch of Hammerers, and boy is it gonna get to hammer time. Gargrim. Gromrindal. I like Gromrindal because he has the flashbang. That's a minus 60% speed reduction, so if Furies come in a big blob, you could just flashbang them. They're lowered melee defense, which is also fantastic. It's a short amount of time, but it's enough to do some real work with those Iron Drakes. And then you have Hammers to back them up. Skarbrand doing exactly what he should be doing, owning both objectives. I don't even think Skarbrand is the right pick, honestly. But it's Skarbrand. He wants to bring Skarbrand, and I don't blame him. Honestly, think the best choice probably would be Valkia, just so you can hit lines, Spear Sleipnir for the front lines or back lines, and just go super wide with Khorne stuff. What does that mean? Minotaurs, Dual Axes, Blood Beast, Chariots, the works. You know how it works. That's usually what you'll see. And then just an absolute metric ton of Furies to shut down artillery and everything else. Furies absolutely dominate this game. You can easily get like 2k value with a Fury or two, if done properly. Grimdelver summoned in, trying to own both lines. That's really tough for the Dowie. They're so stumpy and slow. And the Blood Beast are ready. And this is going to be a lot of posturing. Skarbrand's going to build up on nothing but surrounding, and Sterngard's going to do nothing but build up. He's going to try to own both. This little sideways build. I like it, I like it. Grimdelvers are never a problem here. I was actually thinking if I were to do this matchup, if I were the Dwarfs, I might want to go, Oops, all Slayers. Because they're unbreakable. Doomseekers are just tough for Khorne to deal with because a lot of their anti-infantry is infantry. And you just back them up with Giant Slayers. Giant Slayers will absolutely crump. Gromrindal doing the smart thing, using the Hammer's new capture weight of 7 to out-capture the Marauders here. And even throwing in some Iron Drakes, although they are kind of overlapping, so it becomes a bit of an issue. Especially on the mound, it's going to be hard for them to actually get any real shots in. Gromrindal slowly taking it. Fury's getting set up. Both players being quite patient, not trying to overextend, although those Giant Slayers or Slayers that were just summoned in could easily get isolated. This is one of the issues with Dowie. You really can't summon one unit by itself. You usually have to summon multiple. One to overwatch, one to help protect. Otherwise, yeah, stuff like this happens. And you guys can see kind of on the far left over there, Heroes are just beating up on these Slayers. Yeah, Giant Slayers, they are just up trading real hard. And Skarbrand does a smart thing where he's just trying to cut them off right now with all these faster units, even though what he's cutting off is Grimdelvers. That's a nasty volley if they can get in. And it's just tough for the Dowie. So tough. If anything, what Sterngard I think could have done is actually had artillery summoned in with the Slayers behind them, and eventually have the Grimdelvers go in and just shoot from behind. That might work. Just try to transport the artillery piece. Just zone out a lot of these faster units. And yeah, eventually that could come in, but it's Skarbrand himself out there, so you're not going to be able to kill him. And here comes the killing himself. Skarbrand is in there. Grimdelver's getting trapped. Fury's about to eat it from Doomseekers, and they will absolutely destroy him. And the beauty of Doomseekers, for those who don't know, Bloodletters trade incredibly down. I mean, they trade up, but they get killed so fast they actually disintegrate from Doomseekers. The only ones that actually can hold in a straight-up infantry fight against Doomseekers, I think, or maybe, I haven't tested Bloodweight Berserkers, or even Wrathmongers, but I think Doomseekers still trash them too. The only ones that win straight up are Exalted Bloodletters. They're the only ones who uptrade and win. Everything else is kind of a downtrade. Well, not really a downtrade, but they just don't trade well enough. Scarbrand, the model, not the player, is getting their butt kicked right now. Brittle and the Slayers absolutely destroyed him. He's never going to see the light of day again. I mean, he's down, but he's not out for the count. Man, did that hurt. Both players are really scrapping right now. Even bringing in Fleshhound to beat up on Iron Drakes. Iron Drakes with the 125 armor won't go down that quick. But with their leader there, it should work. Iron Drakes still getting bullied though. Iron Drakes are tough lads. Gargrim trying to back him up. These Gorbies get burned to a crisp, cooked in the rear. Bromgriddle helping out with his Great Axe. And this is the tricky situation. And I'm surprised, a lesser dwarf player would have actually gotten rocked. And I don't know about the hammers, if I'm being honest. Magic attacks are nice, the AP's nice, the armor's nice, capture weight's even nice, but Khorne can just cycle charge them all day, you know what I mean? I think I'd rather have, like, Longbeard, if I'm being honest, maybe, if I were to critique that, but I think Sterngard knows better than being a dwarf main. But the reason I would go with Longbeards, because not only are they cheaper, you can actually have more things to protect the rear and line up some reinforcements. Longbeards in the front have maybe dwarf warriors or miners in the back. Miners with blasting charges, that is. Probably just dwarf warriors, they just hold out a little bit longer, so your Iron Drakes can actually set up. But not like they'll last that much longer. And if anything with mass will pretty much just run through them, regardless if they have melee defense or charge reflection or anything like that. But yeah, it looks like the forces of Khorne are actually starting to crumble. These Slayers, or Doomseekers specifically, are just mulching through everything. And yeah, Scarbrand's got to be careful. A lot of his stuff's routing, disintegrating, just not going to be able to last if this keeps up. Hammers are not going to last much longer either, versus those Bloodletters who are absolutely uptrading to them. But once the Doomseekers get in, I think it's going to be another story of revenge. Here come the nasty Gorbies chariots. Gorbies chariots are so low into dwarves. It's pretty insane how much damage they can do. Even a rear charge absolutely destroying the hammers. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. And it's not like the hammers really... They didn't crump too hard. Bloodletters just make it so bad. That's what I'm saying. That's why I would like Longbeards to be in the front line, because at least you're not losing that much. What are hammers, like 1,200? Longbeards being like 750? 700? Huge difference in value. Definitely get your Dwarf Warrior free for how many hammers that were brought in. Doomseekers I absolutely love. They surprisingly do so much work in this matchup. They're not the problem to solve anything, but they solve a lot of problems. Furies, Exalted Bloodletters, sort of. Not really. But Bloodletters themselves. Chosen. Actually, I haven't seen that kind of... I haven't seen how Chosen do here. Speaking of Chosen, I think Chosen and Khorne are actually insanely good in this matchup. They will cut the... And they can take a Blaster Mining charge. They can actually fight any of the elites pretty well, except for maybe Doomseekers. But again, I have to test that. I think Doomseekers might come out on top. And that's why you have Minotaurs with dual axes just going into poor old Doomseekers. That's going to be an absolute destruction there, especially with the Bloodletters. Look at them just bleeded. Oh, it's so bad. There's an argument you could try to bring in 2 Runesmiths with the Rune of Slowness. There's an argument for that. But I don't know. Definitely don't bring a Master Engineer. Flashbangs are good, but just won't be able to do enough. But the Runesmiths, maybe. 2 Runesmiths with just Rune of Slowness to catch either 2 Furies or 2 charging units and just delete them. That tech has actually been lost. I haven't seen a lot of that recently. I think it's because the 2 double Dragon Slayers have just been so popular. With that being so popular, maybe the Runesmiths will actually come back. Hopefully. And yeah, this game is just going on. Scarbrand cannot fight, I mean modern, not He's just begging to be shot at. Should just go hide in the forest until the end of his days. Otherwise, it's game over. Nice sort of Khorne right here, but I think it's all Doomseeker, so it's not as nice as it looks. And minimal damage, not too bad, not too great. There aren't actually great choices for Sword of Khorne right now, so maybe just having used it on one of the other army buildings would be better.
One of your units has been.
And now Bloodletters are on the home objective of Sterngard. Sterngard is just owning this. Surprised Sterngard hasn't actually made a play for the side, but when you have so much of Khorne just bearing down on you, it becomes impossible to really do anything. Like, you can't even send one miner unit. Otherwise, you're going to be met with a Fury who will beat a miner. Anyways, yeah, Gorby's Chariot's coming back in to just run through all these Doomseekers, and Sterngard's just about to lose his home objective. Maybe his home too.
Take it back.
But he's holding in there. The Iron Drakes. Another Iron Drake to get another shot in. That's the problem with Dwarfs and a lot of the shooting factions when they're facing, or they're getting bearing down from the Rush faction. They only ever get one volley, and their one volley is never enough. They have they can have 100 ammunition, and they'll never be able to shoot a second shot because there's just so much bearing down on them. It's so rough. I feel for the Dowie, but then again, in certain matchups, I don't feel for the Dowie. I don't even think you can go like Dowie Tide either. It might be the better way to play this. Just have a shit ton of dwarves, like 18 dwarves, but I don't even know if that's worth it. 18 dwarves, like 9 Quarlers, just max out on Quarlers and say, alright, I hope you brought enough Furies, because if you can't, I'm gonna shoot the shit out of them. That might be another way to play it. Oops, all Slayers is another idea. This way, and the other way Sterngard plays, where it's just a box of shooting units with Malachi. It seems to be holding, but I don't know. You just can't capture points, and this is a 2-lane map. It very much favors Khorne because of that middle point of the forest. It makes it really hard for shooting factions to actually deal with this. That's why I was thinking maybe go Mass Slayers, just hold your ground on your home. Maybe hold on the side. Just hold your ground on the home and just push. I don't know if these Iron Drakes are really worth it. It doesn't seem like it at this point. Maybe just a bunch of Slayers would have been the call, and just gather up with the Doomseekers, hold that point, and then just slow push onto the other side. It's not like Khorne really wants to charge into Slayers of all variants. Yeah, it's hard for the Dowie. It's so hard. Maybe some contact effects that Sterngard was talking about in one of our chats would actually help them out. But it's not like, I mean, they have runes. They could put runes on their stuff to give them contact effects. Weeping Blades and stuff like that would be ideal. Maybe some poison. I don't know about poison. Maybe a Dowie rune of some type of poison to help them out. Because at this point, this is just a slaughter, and I don't think Sterngard's going to be able to hold any objective, really. He's trying to split, but it's just, there's too much. And he can't reinforce at all. There's just too much speed there. Too much. I can't even remember the last time that Dowie actually won a tournament, too. It's real. I mean, I think Anticity and Danny kind of tried, and then they just ended up losing. Pretty sure they lost. Because Dowie, they're figured out. You can't do anything. They're too slow. Well, it's funny, too. A lot of the DLCs that were supposed to help out factions ended up being... I mean, some of the stuff was definitely broken, but they didn't address the weaknesses. They just added another way to be OP, and then just had a way to get nerfed, and that was that. I'm looking at you, Thunder Guards and Toe Dragons. Although Toe Dragons were an OP, they didn't solve any issue for them. Alright, the game's pretty much over here. Scarred has the points, and we're just gonna move on. Yeah, Slayer Pirates and stuff really didn't add all that much. Besides an unbreakable shooting unit, which they see play, but not really that much. So yeah, feel bad for the Dowie. Hopefully they get some changes to help them out, rather than just get nerfs. Although, the nerfs they deserved, but they should have had some way to... They should have focused on other playstyles and give buffs elsewhere. Khorne, on the other hand, definitely needs some milk too. I mean, in certain matchups, they're just not playable as well. This is one of their better, if not good, matchups. And it was kind of close, surprisingly, too, on this map, too. Yeah, GG's to both players, GG's. Alright, we're coming out to the end of the video. If you'd like to please like, sub, follow me here on YouTube. We're on the road to 2,000. Come join me on stream or in one of our tournaments when we have them. Come play or just watch. Either way works for me. Yeah, with all that said, hope you guys have a good one. Peace and goodbye for now.